What I mean is the short, the tall, the black and the white, the well-educated and not so bright. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One blood, one blood, one blood. Hey, tiger, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I reach out to the man without a limb. With issues of self-esteem, he's battling with it. Forced to despair, sometimes he songs. Why? Cause though he is qualified, he never gets the job. And we may never know how it feels to be stuck below and desperate at taste when as a row. You're no bruises to your ego, no, no, no. We may never know. The torture each undergoes to cushion emotional blows. To you who are listening, all of them appealing, consider your neighbor. In the game of life, because some man will best survive. Different when we could realize, yes, the one love. What I mean is the sense, the deeds, the old and the deeds, Jamaican version and Guyanese, yes, yeah. The one
The time is now 7 p.m. Time for the CBC Evening News. This time check is brought to you by Fruiter.
St. Andrew residents unhappy about the Belplain police station relocation. The Senate picks up debate on the estimates. And in sports, the Cavs move within a point of Lakers for the lead in the BABA.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Very good evening. I'm Lisa Broom. This is the CBC Evening News. Well, tempers flared during a meeting between residents of St. Andrew and senior officials of the Royal Barbados Police Force. It was called to update them on plans for the relocation of the Belplain Police Station. But residents are upset over the proposed move, as we hear from Kishmar Singist.
Voices were raised as residents heard the matter was not debatable. On hearing that, a small group staged a walkout. The Belplain Police Station is being relocated to the District F Police Station in St. Joseph. A petition was also drawn up and hundreds of signatures collected, asking for the issue to be reconsidered. Senior Superintendent of Police Euclid Thompson admitted it would not be an easy transition. He told residents that given the strength of the Belplain Police Station, it was a struggle to patrol that parish. This, he says, will change with its relocation.
The station will be able to provide consistent daily and nightly patrol coverage in the district. Now, I also know that Belplain Police Station could be aptly called a community-based station. I know about it. I prosecuted matters down here in the late 80s and the 90s, and I know that the Belplain people use Belplain people for a number of things: recreation, for long-time phone calls, and general interaction with the police officers here.
Mr. Thompson commended residents of St. Andrew for their excellent conduct as he reveals some crime statistics for St. Andrew. He says there has been low incidences of crime and lawlessness.
If I begin with overall crime from 2015 to last year. This is what you're gonna have. In 2012, there were 119 cases of crime. In 2013, 123. In 2014, 81. And last year, 96. Drug-related crimes, in 2012, 13 cases. In 2013, 6. In 2014, 11. And last year, 20.
Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
The Barbados Workers Union and its division at the Barbados Water Authority are to meet with Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Bayer tomorrow. When asked the reason for the meeting, Senior Assistant General Secretary Orlando Gabby Scott told CBC News it's not unusual for the minister to meet with individual sides in a dispute. The meeting comes as workers at the BWA continued industrial action today, demanding increments owed to them. Several workers again gathered in front of the authority's new headquarters here in the Pine, bearing placards with their demands. Tomorrow's meeting is expected to take place at Parliament. Barbados' economy is benefiting from bilateral agreements signed with countries like Colombia. Leader of Government Business, Senator Maxine McLean, spoke about the development as she introduced debate on the estimates in the upper house. Senator McLean says negotiations among ministers of foreign affairs have led to flights out of Colombia. This, she says, has opened doors in the tourism and education sectors.
There are no facilitating flights out of other South and Central American countries, and part of that will be fed, or the success of that will be fed by the use of that by students coming from a mix of countries. We've started, as I say, we've had Ecuador, we've had Panama. Prior to negotiations, there was an ongoing relationship with the University of West Indies and the management of one of the large oil companies in Venezuela. And so what we are seeing is that we are able to use our various resources to collaborate in order to create new business opportunities, whether it's at the level of the private sector, whether it's at the level of our University of West Indies Cave Hill campus.
Senator McLean says Barbados has demonstrated success in the face of many challenges, with government still able to support the major productive sectors, especially tourism. But she doesn't think enough is being done by commercial banks and other financial institutions to support entrepreneurship.
More money available to the private sector than is available to government. And I have been championing, and we will hear more about that, that we have to think of creating an institution that will do at least do something in relation to venture capital mobilization to support entrepreneurship.
Barbados should celebrate its 50th year of independence, but an opposition senator says it should be done while paying attention to all of the challenges Barbadians are facing. This from Senator Jerome Walcott as he delivered the opposition's reply in the upper house. He says the estimates should, above all else, be a realistic projection of government's finances. Mr. Walcott used examples of several departments where the amount allocated is not what the heads requested in order to be efficient.
Deliberate where you're underestimating the actual expenditure, and in the end it looks, in terms of your overall fiscal balance, it sorts of makes it looks more manageable. But what I was saying earlier is that in spite of the increased taxation, in spite of the various documents and various plans, the medium-term fiscal strategy, etc., we are still failing to achieve those targets, those important targets, which the country should be aiming for.
An independent senator says government must do something to plug the decline in corporation tax from the international business sector. Senator Dr. Trevor Carmichael says despite its challenges, the sector has been contributing steadily to the gross domestic product over the past 6 years.
Well, if you look in terms in crude figures, you see that the sector has contributed 670 million Barbados dollars in direct expenditures. It has employed, I say, over 4,000 persons, and it has paid and we must never forget this, 60% of this country's corporate taxes. And it is for this reason that we have to keep putting our heads together, and I say our heads together, both the government and the private sector, to ensure that the gap of the declining corporate taxes is plugged.
In other news now, having a robust anti-money laundering regime is of paramount importance to Barbados. That, along with national risk management, according to Attorney General and Minister of Home Affairs Adriel Brathwaite, are critical. Mr. Brathwaite says weaknesses must be identified and addressed.
I can commit as Attorney General, and in particular, if the processes require us to address any legislative deficiencies, and I'm looking at two of my colleagues in particular, and of course, any strengthening of our FIU itself, I can say categorically that I have the commitment of the Cabinet in this regard. Finally, it is my intention to signal hand in hand with that commitment of the Cabinet. It is my intention to have this process led by a ministerial subcommittee.
Mr. Brathwaite's remarks came at the launch of Mutual Evaluation Barbados at the Radisson Aquatica. He says the workshop is part of the process to prepare the country for the mutual evaluation of its regime.
Our fourth evaluation starts, I believe, on the 6th of December this year. And therefore, what we are about to do is to ensure that we have our processes in place, that we can not only have that evaluation, but that we can ensure that when the report is finalized, that indeed that is very positive. So the work that you're going to be doing this week and over the next couple of weeks is of paramount importance to us as a country. If there are weaknesses in a regime, we need to address them.
The Barbados Council for the Disabled is on a mission to have legislation passed to outlaw indiscriminate parking in spaces allotted for the disabled. So far, the Council has secured close to 11,000 signatures for its petition. Operations Manager with the Council, Rosanna Tudor, is pleased with the response so far and says they will be taking the petition to higher authorities. She was speaking to the media following a parking simulation exercise at Sky Mall.
We have been working with successive governments over 12, 14 years now. They have drafted the legislation, and we needed to go a step further. So the council has started a petition to the government to have the parking and curbs and other necessities that we need that goes with the parking legislated. We are very optimistic, because we're well over 11,000 signatures now, and our deadline is shortly approaching.
We'll take a break here, but when we come back, more news.
Say hello to Carol. Carol talks for a living, from morning till night. So she relies on Flow's crystal clear home phone service brought to her through Flow's 100% fiber to the home network. It keeps her in the know, and because she bundles her mobile broadband and TV services, she enjoys huge savings, so she can enjoy much more for much less. So visit any Flow retail outlet, call 1-800-804-2994, or visit discoverflow.co to find out more. One-of-a-kind connection. This is how we flow.
Community Files.
Government's new nursery school at Gall Hill Christchurch is taking applications for children who will be at least 3 years old by August 31st. Application forms should be collected from and returned to the Ministry of Education, Elsie Payne Complex, Constitution Road, St. Michael, no later than Wednesday, March 23rd.
Sun Power on water systems.
I had some problems with my solar water heater. The collectors was leaking. I called the original agency and said, well, they can't do anything about it because the system is bad and they will have to install a new system. I didn't hear back from them. Then I called Sun Power. For me, I went to Monday, paid some money, and by Thursday it was on.
Get your Sun Power.
lot of people think that fast bikes are cool, and the girls, sure, like the guys who ride them, but like so many things about life, you gotta be careful. Having sex without a condom is like riding a bike without a helmet. It's just plain dumb. It's okay to have fun as long as you're smart about it. My name is Daniel the Lion Fortress, and I'm different, and I'm making a difference.
Live up. Love, protect, respect.
There's high demand for the services provided by the breast screening program of the Barbados Cancer Society. Medical coordinator Dr. Shirley Hanneman-Jagru says its clinic performs over 700 mammograms a month. Given that figure, Dr. Jagru says they will be improving their technologies to ensure reports are concluded on time.
What we're hoping to do, we're now looking into a new medics program, which would be one that's, you know, the new technology now is the voice, and once it recognizes the voice, it's printed so that radiologists would come every day as it normally does its reporting on the voice, and then it's typed at the same time and assigned at the same time, so it would all be generated in a matter of minutes compared to hours.
The breast screening program has received some much needed funds. $25,000 was donated by the Ladies of Royal Westmoreland. Group representative Yvonne Brewer says the program does amazing work and women value what they're doing.
We're delighted to be able to give you some more money, and we are hoping to be able to continue that. We're supported every year by Royal Westmoreland itself, and also Columbian Emeralds and Ameribag, who help us to raise the funds. So please can I present to you with this year's cheque from the 2016 Royal Westmoreland Ladies Open.
Well, our very own Multi-Choice Television is also on board as a partner with the program. Chief MCTV Officer Andrew Green says they will be working with the subcommittee to push their public service announcements.
We're going to be working with the subcommittee to get those out on a more frequent basis, and we will give some support in terms of actually creating those PSAs. We have the professional here, right? So we'll be guided by the professional in her former life at the CBC in terms of presenting a message to the public on a frequent basis so that you will be able to get the support that you want, not only from those persons participating in the walk, but also those persons who will be benefiting from